Hello from wonderful Wiltshire. It's that time again. It's 4 p.m. in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we're going live on Amazon Live, and there are noises off everywhere. I'm just getting notifications through that lights, camera, action starts in 1 minute. Well, no, it doesn't. Lights, camera, action has started now, and I'm just about to go over to preview and go live. So we're going live on Amazon Live with 30 seconds to spare. So we'll start with the countdown clock and settle in. Exciting times, both from a live video point of view and from a new phone point of view, which I'll be showing you. And one thing I need to do is this. And connect. And we've got a green. So let's go to Amazon Live. Press refresh. I'll be with you in a second. I'm just setting something up, waiting for it to allow me to actually enter text on Amazon Live. Okay, I'll come to me. Okay, today I'm watching myself on Amazon Live. Hello and welcome to this live broadcast. And I'm just waiting for Amazon Live to go live. And it will in a second. So I'm going to stop that. You probably heard me talking. There is, in all broadcasting, in live broadcasting, I'm in my Be.Live studio. Let's go over here. Wherever you see this logo, he said, this logo, it is a Be.Live broadcast. Now I'm broadcasting from Be.Live. We can have 8 people on screen, show YouTube video, show images, and show an agenda on screen. Speaking of agendas, let's get things underway and go here and go into there and say, welcome to the show. Welcome to the broadcast. Same thing. Although my friend David would actually argue with that. This is Lights, Camera, Action with Stephen Healy, and I am most definitely, you're watching Stephen live from Wiltshire, England. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions about live broadcasting, please do ask. And I've got my first comment, so I know that's working. So say hello to Dr. Hielo, or Ephraim, and he too broadcasts from Be.Live. He has his own channel on Amazon Live. There are myself and Ephraim and Grant and Adair, all using Be.Live to actually broadcast. And the beautiful thing is, as you've just seen, is that if you make a comment on today's broadcast on Amazon Live, I can show it in my studio, much in the way that I'm showing Ephraim's comment now. So if you are watching live on Amazon Live, I'd like to say thank you. And I think that comment from Ephraim wasn't on Amazon Live, but the principle holds. Okay, and I'm just going to test. Let's do a test one. I'm going to type in hello and do it the right way around. Okay, and back to my studio. And in a second, all things being equal, I should be able to say hello. So that comment is definitely from Amazon Live. So if you are watching and you've got questions about anything in the carousel, or you just want to say hello and tell me where you're watching from, please do. And I may show your comment on screen. If I show your comment on screen, it won't be with a picture, it'll just be with your name and the comment you've made. So we can show live comments, which sounds brilliant. And that's all because we're broadcasting using Be.Live, and all is good. Okay, and I think this next comment is coming through from Amazon Live. Ephraim, here we go. Right, okay. So we've now got 2 comments on Amazon Live. So the system is working beautifully. This is the 3rd time it's worked for me in a row, Ephraim. So here we go. Definitely cuts it. It's now so simple and straightforward. I just want to give a shout out to our good friend Grant Saunders, who gave both Ephraim and I the simplest way to actually get our comments live on screen. Okay, now the first item we're going to talk about today is a mobile phone. I love doing mobile video. and the mobile phone that I have is down in the carousel. And I'm just going to switch the logo off for the moment. I'll come back to Be.Live later. This is my mobile phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, down the carousel at $999.99 today. And it is, if you click the link in the carousel, it is 23% off. Now, if I double tap the screen, it will come to life, and it's now alive. And I'm going to log in using my thumbprint or fingerprint. And that's it. And the thing I love about it, first of all, is the speed. Okay, if I go for Facebook, and I'll show this live tomorrow, but if I go, the scroll is so smooth. Okay, now a few features before we get on to. I've actually used this over the weekend to shoot a video, and the video, which is underneath me, contains chickens. What more can you ask? Okay, quick look around the office and then on with the show. So you see my main camera, which is this, and you're actually watching a Logitech Brio, which is down in the carousel. Okay, my second camera is this one, and this is the Hobspot Tiny. And if I go here, you can not only see the Hobspot Tiny, but you can see outside. Okay, and if I come back to the BenQ monitor for a moment, which is down in the carousel, and scrolling around past my medals, on top of the carousel, that's the Hobspot Tiny. Next to it is Logitech Brio, and then Logitech Litra Lite, and they're all sat close together on top of the monitor. The monitor is a BenQ 27-inch monitor, and the clapperboard is left over from Hollywood, of course, because that's what they used to use at the start of each scene. Okay, so I'm going to switch my second camera off for the moment. We'll be seeing it later. Okay, this is where I live. Okay, wonderful Wiltshire in England. This is the Court Garden, which is about 20 minutes away from us. So I can hide that, which brings us down to you are watching today. Lights, camera, action, webcams, microphones, audio gear, live video, Fitbits, broadcasting from Be.Live. This card was created on Canva. And hide that, come back to us. Just a note, I actually teach people how to go live on Udemy and on YouTube. And tomorrow I'm live in the Be.Live streamers group on Facebook. And the topic is gaining confidence on camera. And that's what it's all about. I've got my agenda mapped out. I know what I'm going to talk about. Please do join me tomorrow. Okay, so I can hide that now. Which just leaves me and the chickens. Okay, we'll come to the chickens in a minute. Go back to me. Okay, this is, got to say, this is the best camera I've ever had. It's 6.8 inches. It has, on the back, you can see 5 lenses. It's got a 3 times zoom, a 10 times zoom, and a 108 megapixel camera. It can shoot 8K video. Now, I shot an 8K video, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So don't go anywhere. You're going to see the first ever video that I did with this wonderful, wonderful mobile phone. So it is, in actual fact, official title, Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra smartphone. This is it. It has 256 gig of RAM, 8K camera. Webcams maximum of 4K. I'm going to show you a couple of 4K webcams during this live broadcast, the Brio and the Hobspot Tiny. And I'm just going to take a comment that's just come in, and let's just hide that and take the comment. And the comment is, hey, Stephen, and hello, Corinda. Corinda's a good friend, broadcasts on Amazon Live, based in London, and thank you for the comment, Corinda. Okay, so the camera. 256 gig of RAM, 8K camera, and a video. Okay, now I bought this camera, mobile phone and camera, because I saw reviews of it, and I thought this is the phone for me. And it's got the brightest display. Now I was sat out. If I switch cameras a moment, I was actually sat out. Just give me a second. This will work. I know it will work. Yeah, I was sat outside. I'm just going to show you where I was sat. No, I wasn't actually sat on the roof. Okay, that's the view from my window. I'll show you a better view in a minute. But you can see that it's bright sunshine outside. Alexa, what's the temperature?
At the moment, it's 24 degrees Celsius.
Right. So
tonight, you can expect a low of 11 degrees.
We're getting good. 24 degrees today. And I was sat outside with this phone, and it does have the brightest display because I could scroll and I could read clearly in direct sunlight. And it's not often we can say that in the UK, but it was direct sunlight today. Okay, now if I go here, okay, this is me. That's my profile. And hopefully down here, you can see I'm actually live on Amazon Live now. The next thing about the phone is, do you remember, I'll get to your comments in a moment, Corinda. Do you remember the Galaxy Note, which was stopped? And you remember the S Pen. The S Pen is back because if I click here, yeah, then I'm taken straight to notes. Sorry for typing. And I can say, hello, Corinda. Okay, and I can save that note. Brilliant, it works. Now, the other thing, not only can you actually write with it, okay, I need some practice. You can write with it, but in addition to that, it has air gestures as well. And if you're on the camera, you can use a flick of the pen to actually take a photograph. Right, I've yet to test it, but I'm sure that it works because everything else works. So the other thing about the S Pen is that the S22 knows it's got an S Pen. And if you were to go out of the room and leave the pen behind, you get a little message on screen which says, have you forgotten your pen? Okay, so that's it's the small things. The next thing is it's got a long life battery. You can charge it overnight and you can then use it all day. And you can be going live, you can be watching video, you can do anything you like, but the battery will last 24 hours, well, all day anyway. Next thing about the phone, I'm going to show you a video shot with the phone in 2 minutes time. It is 8K super steady video. Now, what that means is, and you'll notice this in the video, that the phone itself has got a stabilizer built in. So just a minute, I want to hide that. I'm not checking, just give me a second. The phone itself has got a stabilizer built in, which means that no more going up and down with the video. You'll see what difference that makes in a second. Okay. The next point about it is it's got nightography. Nightography is a word which doesn't actually exist. I think you probably, if you break it down into night and photography, it's photography at night. Now, I've not done it myself yet, but I've seen samples where it looks almost like daylight. So I'm going to take some nighttime photographs tonight. I'll show them on the stream tomorrow. I'm live at 11 a.m. And I've seen some stunning photographs with the nightography. Okay. The next thing is that it has 108 megapixel photo resolution plus bright display. We talked about bright display. You could actually read it in sunlight. Next thing is it's got adaptive color contrast, which is absolutely brilliant. The colors are, well, brilliant. Okay, and then the next feature is it's got a long-lasting battery with fast charging. Now, for the fast charging, you need to get a brick. Normally, it's 25 watts charging. With the brick, it's 45 watts, so you can charge it very quickly. Next thing, embedded S Pen. We've talked about that. It's embedded. Okay, and it's cool. And it's unlocked by Samsung, which means that you don't have to mess about. In real terms, you can go with your current carrier or a new carrier, just get the SIM from them, put the SIM in, simple and straightforward. And when you get the phone, there's a little tool which unlocks the SIM drawer. This takes two SIMs, yeah, one for your main number, one for a secondary number. And whether you activate both is up to you. But if you do, then you can use two different phone numbers for the same phone. It has a 6.8-inch display, 120 hertz refresh rate, which you can cut down to 1. Okay, and it is an adaptive refresh rate depending on the conditions. It's 5,000 milliamps on charging. You can do wireless charging at 15 watts, and you can do a wireless power share. And coming up on the home straight, the front camera at 100 is 40 megapixels, and the rear camera is 108. And you're about to see an example in a moment. It was released on the 9th of February 2022, and it is the flagship Samsung model. And this is the point at which I get to show that. Now, using this very mobile phone, I was in the garden at the weekend and I did a little video. Okay, now the video includes chickens. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is switch my microphone off, and you're going to get a tour using the Samsung S22. So let's put that on. And I'm going to switch my microphone off. My first video with the Samsung S22 Ultra, and we're in the garden on a beautiful sunny day. It's about 31 degrees, and let's take a walk down the path and see what we can find. Okay, now what I'm checking is the sound quality and also the video quality. So let's see how this works. So I can pan round. Okay, and I'm going to go onto the grass, and this is our newer wildflower garden, and the right hand side is taking off slowly, but the left hand side is firmly established. As I go round again and down the garden. Okay, Angelica put a lot of work into getting the garden into the state it's in, and I want to take you down now to the new table and chairs that we've got. Chairs are covered up to protect them because, as you can see, we are out in the countryside and birds can actually fly over, which is not a good idea. But this is our brand new table, and we saw it in the local garden centre and thought, let's have that. So we did, we bought it. Okay, now over here is our wild animal enclosure, and if I go around the corner we should see, hopefully they're camera friendly, but if I go around here we should be able to see, hello chickens, hello. Okay, and we've got 4 chickens in total. They're all rather camera shy, yeah, and they're turning away from the camera. They know what's going on, they know they're being filmed, apart from the one who's going to be a star someday. Okay, and this is an igloo, which is where they live, and it's very easy to maintain. Chickens are easy to maintain, and we're actually currently getting 4 eggs a day, and the chickens were rescue chickens. In other words, they had been kept for their egg laying. After 2 years they let the chickens go, and then the chickens have got to be rehoused, and we actually managed to get hold of 4. So these are all about the same age and will go on for 2 or 3 years laying eggs for us, and we're currently getting 25 eggs. And I'm back. So That video was created last weekend with this very phone, and hopefully you can actually hear me. Corinda, can you confirm that you can hear me, please? That would be good as I go through your comments. Okay, so 7 days with this phone. I'm going to be reporting back on it on a daily basis. As I get to know more about it, I can tell you more about it. And the important word I've got from Corinda on Amazon is yes. Okay, now I did a bit of testing earlier to make sure it would work, but I'm I'm chuffed that it works. Corinda, thank you for your help. Most valuable. Okay, and Corinda's saying can hear you well. Thank you. Okay, so Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and I'm just waking up my iPad, and let's catch up with Corinda's comments. Okay, next we're going to go on to the Hobspot Tiny PTZ camera because it's on discount today. If you click the link in the carousel, you get a discount on it. So let's catch up with Corinda. And Corinda at the beginning said, so it's like, what? Hang on a minute. Let's go back to the beginning because Corinda's been typing away and I want to show the comments on screen. Hey, Stephen. Hello, Corinda. And Ephraim's saying hello to Corinda. We're a family. We know each other. And Corinda's saying hello to Dr. Yellow. Got. Okay, next comment, Corinda. And Corinda is saying, wish Amazon was in Android. No, it's basically the Amazon app. I mean, to actually go live on Amazon, which is what I'm doing at the moment, what Ephraim does and what Corinda does, you have to have either an iPhone or an iPad. Okay. Next, S Pen. Yes, it's back. Okay, the S Pen is in the Galaxy S22, which could be called Galaxy S22. Well, apart from the fact it's actually a mobile phone, it is similar to the Surface. It can do anything that the Surface can do, and it works in adaptive light. It's showing me live at the moment. Okay, so that's live. Okay, if I turn the phone sideways, okay, you can see me live. Okay, and it's a good quality video as well. Okay, at least I thought you could see me live. You might not be able to. Not remember yesterday's broadcast. Let's go on and go back there. Next comment from Corinda is basically, before we go on to the Hobspot Tiny, how many apps would you recommend on it? Well, this has got 128 gig of RAM. RAM is not a problem. So I just get the apps that I use normally. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube are the main ones that I use. And nightography is in the dark. Yep, new word. It means photographing at nighttime. But it's 5G. Okay. And can have a dual mode camera in it. It's got 5 lenses on the back. It has 108 megapixels, 3 times zoom, 10 times zoom, and 1 lens I don't know anything about yet. Very good quality on the phone, an OBS bot. Yeah. Okay, and we'll look at OBS in a minute. And I'm catching up. Who bought the chicken? You're Angelica. We bought them together. Basically, as far as the chickens are concerned, let's show the chickens on screen. Yeah. What you do is you go to, just to get rid of that, and we might be able to see a chicken in a minute. You actually go to the farm and collect the chickens. So we went to the farm about 6 weeks ago when we got back from Germany, and we collected the chickens, brought them back home, and we'd spent, or Angelica and I had spent 3 or 4 weeks actually setting up the area where they live. And when you first get them, you put them into the inner cage, and then when they're settled in, then you can let them out into the run. And we're coming up the home straight. Yes, I can be heard, which is good for the video later, and hear you well. Thank you. And over to Corinda again. And Corinda is saying, how much was it? The price is down. If you're watching on Amazon, Corinda, the price is down in the carousel. The price on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra is $999.99, which is 23% off at the moment. So basically it's a discount of 23% if you get it now. Okay, so that's it. We're caught up on the comments. Okay, now you're watching. Just a minute, we've got another comment coming. Let's see what it says. I'm not going to move. A comment will appear on screen magically. So what's that in the UK? In the UK, Corinda, that is about 1100, I think.
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Alexa, stop.
Answer your
Who said who mentioned a name? I've got Alexa with me today. If you go to the UK site and you look for Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, this is the Ultra, the big one, then you'll get the price, Corinda. Okay, but I'm most impressed by it. Which brings us on, right? If you missed the chicken video, I'll play the chicken video later. Okay, but thank you for joining me live on Amazon Live. I do enjoy being here. I just want to point out that if I can get this working, I'm having a better day today for those who were watching yesterday. Your host is Stephen Healy from England. We're talking about live broadcasting. I want to say thank you for watching me live. We will be talking about Logitech Brio. We've talked about the Samsung S22 mobile. And as we've just proved, if you make a comment, I can show your comments on screen. Be.Live is the first system where we can show Amazon Live comments on screen. We'll see your name and the comment that you made. If you are interested in trying it and you want to be in the show rather than watching the show, you can be in the show, featured like Corinda, and you can also be featured like Dr. ELO. That one. Okay, Dr. ELO is saying, here we go. And here we go to live comments on Amazon Live. And then Corinda's first comment today was hello. And Corinda, a great friend, and lives in, well, he lives near Heathrow Airport, which today might be quite busy. Okay, now you shouldn't be able to hear any sounds in the background. If you can, let me know. I'm using the Elgato Wave 3 microphone, which is down the carousel. And I'm also using Crisp.ai to actually cut out the sound. I'm just going to go down here, make sure I've not missed anything. Okay, so I think we're good to move on. And we're going to move on to, yeah, I can find it. Okay, we're moving on to the Hobspot Tiny PTZ camera. Okay, which means that I must switch over to the Hobspot Tiny PTZ camera. Now, the first thing you'll notice about the Hobspot Tiny, it's not like any other camera. And I'll show you an Hobspot in a moment. In actual fact, if I go here and go here, I can actually show you the Hobspot working. Okay. That is an Hobspot. It's asleep at the moment because we're not using it. That's the Hobspot 4K. Next to it is the Brio. Next to that is the Logitech Litra Lite. The whole thing is a BenQ 27-inch monitor. And you're actually watching at the moment. You can see my studio. Yeah, I'm in the Be.Live studio. Down the left-hand side, I've got icons that control the broadcast. I've got the screen that's actually being sent out at the moment. On the right-hand side, I can see your comments. And down below, I've got my carousel of images and video that I can show in the live broadcast. But that is what the Hobspot Tiny PTZ camera looks like. We'll see that one working in a moment. But for a moment, I just want to come back. Let's come back to me so you can see me. This is view number 2, which is me, and I'm looking directly at camera. And this is very easy because, as I'll show you later, this Hobspot, the one we're looking at now, is actually mounted on a tripod, and that makes all the difference in the world. With the Hobspots, and I've got 2 of them, they come with a mount. like so. And the mount is basically the lip goes over your monitor or your PC screen, and then there's an adhesive area there which actually clings tightly to your monitor or your PC or Mac. And the mount on top is magnetic, which means that the bottom of the camera is also magnetic, and it is a very stable arrangement. Okay, but underneath the camera, if I go here, underneath the camera, I'm going over to the monitor again. Underneath the camera, and I'm aware that I've got to sort of work out where I'm pointing to. At the foot of the camera is a thread, and you can use that thread to put the Hobspot onto a tripod. Now you can do the same with any Logitech camera as well. They all have threads in the bottom, which I'll show you later. So either of those could be mounted on a tripod. Mine is actually on a tripod at the moment. Okay, and it's got 3 fields of view. It's got me, it's got outside. This is my view from the window. I'll show you another view in a minute, but this is outside here. Alexa, what's the temperature?
At the moment, it's 24 degrees Celsius.
So it's 24.
Tonight, you can expect a low of 11 degrees.
So I've got an Echo Dot, which is down the carousel, and she's helping me with today's broadcast. She is, in fact, an assistant of mine. So I can go to, and you pass my medals, past the monitor, round the office, and eventually will get back to me. Now, the thing is about the Hobspot Tiny is it's on a gimbal, yeah, which means it can swivel. So rather than being on top of the monitor and fixed and having a fixed field of view, the Hobspot can swivel on a 2-axis gimbal, which means it can go sideways and it can go up and down. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate those throughout this live broadcast today. We're going to use a lot of Hobspots, okay, because the thing that the 2 Hobspots give me is 6 different views that I can show you. So rather than looking at me at all the time, we can actually look at other things as well, which is good. Now, let's go through the features. And the best way to do that is to come back here and do it this way. So this is the bracket. AI powered. I'm going to show you the AI powered. It's got gesture control, which means track me, stop tracking me, zoom in, zoom out. Now you don't need to be anywhere near your desk to actually do that. The Hobspot that's down in the carousel at the moment, which is $169, which is 15% off. Yeah. Is a 1080p camera. The next Hobspot I'm going to show you is a 4K camera. It's got dual omnidirectional microphones, in other words, 2 mics, and they can pick up the sound all around. It's got a 90-degree field of view, but it's on a gimbal, so it can actually move around. It's got low light correction. If I switch my light off, yeah, what will happen is that the camera will autocorrect. Okay, I'll switch my light back on again. Okay, go over here and on to the next item, and AI powered PTZ webcam. Privacy. If I go over here, and I'm going to change the screenshot. Okay, and I'm going to go to here. Right, there's the BenQ monitor. That camera is currently asleep. Okay, if you watch there, you'll see the camera come on. Now you can set a timer so that if you don't use the camera in the next 5 or 10 minutes, it will in fact switch itself off, and then when you press resume, it will switch itself back on. Simple and straightforward. So sleep. Okay, and I could actually resume, and if I go here, just so that we show how versatile these cameras are, I can actually zoom in and go up, up, I said. Okay, and we zoom in a bit further. Okay, so the camera's up the top. If I get it to sleep, the lens goes down. If I resume, the lens comes back. Okay, great control with the software, and I'll come on to the software in a minute. Okay, so privacy, the camera just goes to sleep, really. It has got a sleep mode, which I've just talked about. It's got 3 preset positions. We've seen those. We've looked outside. We've looked at the monitor. We've looked at me. In addition to that, it's got a headroom mode. Notice it's very important. If I come to me again, okay, let's come to me. And just a second. I need to, just a minute. In a 3-camera demonstration, occasionally you're going to go wrong. Basically, it's actually making sure that I've got headroom. Yeah, if I bob about, it will make sure that I still have headroom. I'll talk about how important that is when we get further into the discussion about cameras, but it is done automatically as I come back here. Right, just finishing off the features. In 2 minutes, I will show you the software that controls the cameras, because if you buy any camera, if you buy a Logitech, if you buy an Hobspot, if you buy a microphone, there's always software, and the software gives you more flexibility. Okay, it's got built-in noise reduction. If the dog barks, you will hear it, but nobody else will. On Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. It has a motion mode. If you want to film somebody doing a 100-yard race, then you can focus on them and the camera will track them throughout the race. It's that fast. It's got auto sleep mode, which I've just demonstrated to you. It's got a 2-axis gimbal, which means that it can go up and down and sideways. It's got magnetic mount. Okay, so that's basically the camera. What I'm going to do now is I'm just scrolling up, make sure I don't miss anything. I think Corinda's gone for a cup of tea, which is okay. Right, so let's go magnetic mount. Now, I've had the Hobspot Tiny since January, and then they came out with the Hobspot 4K, and I thought, a 4K camera, what could be better? That's the best we can all do on webcams, is a 4K webcam, unless we go DSLR. But as a webcam, a 4K webcam, Hobspot came out with a 4K webcam, and I'm going to show you that 4K webcam now. And it's down in the carousel. And what we're going to do is I'm going to switch over to the Hobspot 4K webcam and hopefully find it in my list of cameras and wait for it to come up on screen. Okay, we had a slight judder there, but I think we're ready now. Okay, this is the Hobspot 4K camera, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to that. Okay, hopefully I'll be back in a second. Okay, now I can't broadcast you in 4K. It's not possible. Yeah, because we're on 720, then it's 1080, then there's 4K through the roof. I can't broadcast you in 4K. We can go live. I got this camera so I could go live on YouTube. If you go to get your camera out of the box, go to OBS, vMix, or XSplit Broadcaster, you can go live on YouTube in 4K. And it's a brilliant experience. The quality of the picture is incredible. Yeah. The higher the number, the more pixels there are. Yeah. And the greater the quality of the picture. So we're getting close to cinema. Well, no, we're getting ever closer to cinema quality. And this 4K camera is, well, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to give you some details about it. Then I'm definitely, because I've only had this camera 2 weeks. Now, everything that I show you, I actually own. Yeah, so I bought this camera. Its official title is the Hobspot Tiny PTZ 4K camera. Okay, PTZ, pan, tilt, and zoom. Okay, now the difference between this and the original Hobspot is that this camera has 4 times zoom and it broadcasts out in 4K, and we can broadcast out in 4K to YouTube. Okay, next thing, it has, just waiting for it to change, AI powered framing and autofocus on this camera. I don't think autofocus is on the other camera. It is most definitely 4K video conference camera. Now, if you were sat round a table and you had the software, which I'm going to show you in a minute, on your laptop, you could actually go from person to person around the table. The mics would work, but you could switch the lens and focus on everybody around the table. So it's ideal as a conference camera with one person controlling it. You can go around the table, everybody can have their say, you can switch to anybody at any time. Next thing, it is on a 2-axis gimbal, which means it can go sideways and up and down. It has low light correction, and I'm going to show you this live again. If I switch my light off, yeah, I go dark, the camera tries to correct, and it does correct, and you can still see me, but I'm going to switch the light back on. Okay, so light's back on. Next thing about the camera is, okay, it's got magical gesture control. We spoke about that. It's start tracking, end tracking, zoom in, zoom out. Okay, next item on the agenda is it's dual omnidirectional microphones with noise reduction, which is important. I've lost where I was. Just a minute. Okay, it's got 3 preset positions. We've seen that. It's got AI tracking. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And it also has versatile mounting. It can either go on your monitor or it can go on a tripod. Okay, and we've seen both. We've seen it on the monitor, we've seen it on the tripod. In actual fact, what I can do now is I can go here and I can show you. Okay, this is an Hobspot camera. Now, in appearance, both look the same, and it is mounted, as you can see, on a tripod. The bottom of the camera is a thread. You can screw your tripod into it, and then you can set it up, and then you forget it. Now, because I've got 2 cameras, it means that I can show you my desking area. So whilst I'm here, before we carry on, because this shot is from one of the Hobspot cameras, we've got the 4-way USB hub. I'm using a 4-way USB hub to actually have 2 cameras on at the same time and a microphone, all plugged into my Microsoft Surface Book 2. We've spoken to the Echo Dot, or she's spoken to us. We've got TP-Link Wi-Fi also down the carousel. I'll do a quick run through in a minute, but I'm actually broadcasting using that Wi-Fi at the moment. I'm not actually wired. We've got the TrebLab X3 Pro. Yeah, there, the earbuds. We've got my iPad here, which is down in the carousel. That's my Microsoft Surface Book 2. This is a Greek chessboard, and I just got to go here. The actual quality of these pieces, that they've been cast, and they just look amazing. The chess set, this chess set is down in the carousel too. And if you want a game today, then we can have a game. If I put the piece back, I'm going D2 to D4. Okay, your move. So let's just go to Amazon Live, and my move was D2. Hang on, I need to catch up with the comments. I'm just right. Okay, so my move is D2 to D4. I'm just going to show that on screen, and I don't think I can. I think we've got to block Corinda. Oh, wait a minute. No, not. Okay. And a question from Corinda, which is coming in. With the OBS PTZ camera, will this work for filming event speakers or church services? I've seen a lot of people actually use it, the 4K camera for church services. Yeah, so that's a good question, good answer, hopefully. So what's that in the UK? That was about the pricing on the Hobspot, on the Samsung. And again, over to Corinda with the Hobspot. Just a minute. Please, would it? Yeah, filming an event, it would work. And let's come back to me. Just a second. Okay, come back to me and I'll carry on answering, Corinda. We missed top of your head. Okay, I'm just looking over on Amazon and I think my head is intact. Just a minute. That could have been a particular point. Top of your head. I don't think so. Hope not. If you can see the top of my head, anybody? No, Stream Geeks. Right, okay. Stream Geeks made the tiny PTZ. No. Stream Geeks call themselves PTZ. I know. They are not the PTZ. PTZ is or PTZ, Corinda. PTZ is a type of camera. It's not a manufacturer of cameras. So it's the Hobspot tiny PTZ camera made by Hobspot. Yeah, it's not made by anybody else. It's made by Hobspot. Okay, so Stream Geeks took the title, made it their own, but they're not the only people who are using PTZ cameras. And thank you, Ephraim, who's saying that my head is fine. Thank you. It's always a bit disconcerting when somebody says, I mean, this has got to be a classic. I want to get a screenshot of this. We missed the top of your head. Okay. And then Ephraim came back and said, wait for it. Your head's okay. That's good. I think it's okay too. Okay. I do try and frame myself on camera. I try and frame myself with headroom at the top and to be sort of the center of the screen and trying to look at the camera most of the time. And it's a work in progress. Looking at a camera all the time is not easy. I've got to tell you, to me, but I do try. Okay, so thank you, Corinda and Ephraim, for those comments. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my desktop to actually show you how the software works. Because when you buy any camera, do download the software. It's free. Yeah, and I'm going to give you a demonstration shortly when we go on to the Logitech Brio camera. Yeah, but basically, do download the software. This is the software that comes with the Hobspot Tiny. So I'm going to screen share, and the top of my head is still there. Okay, refresh your screen, Corinda. Okay, and I'm going to bring that over here, and I'm going to bring onto screen. This is the software. If you go to Hobspot and you download the software, you can then use it to control as many Hobspot cameras as you've got. Now you can see this is controlling 2 of my Hobspot cameras. So if I go here, yeah, and I'm going to take it off solo. Okay, I'm going to switch that camera on, switch that camera off. Just give me a second, this will work. It will be worth it. Okay, right. Now I want to turn that camera off. This is the point in the show where I do need to turn that camera off. And I've turned it off and it's probably going to come back on again now. Okay, we've seen the chickens. We'll see the chickens again later. But next to me now is, I'm going to switch something off. Just a minute. I'm trying to switch the camera off. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, I think we finally got there. On the left is me on the Hobspot Tiny camera. On the right is the Hobspot software. You can see if we go side by side, and I'm hoping everything I do from now on works. If we go side by side, that this is actually controlling two cameras. The first camera is the one you're looking at. The second one is the one that you saw earlier. And I can, using the controls, go from me to the desktop. Okay, so that's the desktop. And then the big shot is this one. Now, I can't see this from the window, but the camera can. This is a live shot. You can see, this is the garden, and you can see a light breeze blowing through the garden. Thank you, breeze, right on call. And that's the shot from my camera, which is on top of my BenQ monitor. And basically, if I want to relax, I put some chill music on, switch the camera on, and I can just look at it. Right, back to me. So those are the three presets underneath. Now, if I want, I could actually zoom out on that. So I'm going to zoom out and just taking the zoom control. Yeah, I can zoom, he said, out. Yeah, because that's the basic shot. And then I can zoom right in. Okay, I did take a while to actually set that up. I can, using the wheel on the right hand side, I can adjust it. I can go up and down. Okay, I can go left to the curtains. I can go right, a bit further right. Let's go all the way right, just to see. Well, back in the office now. Let's go back out and let's just click the button again. Okay, and that's the garden view. So 3 presets, and I can control them. And the other thing I can do is if I go here, and hopefully this will work, I'm going to come to me. One of the most fun things, about the Hobspot Tiny camera is this. Okay, this is, hopefully this will work. Okay, so just give me a second. Is that the Hobspot Tiny has got inbuilt AI tracking, which means that if I stand up and I go round the back, then the Hobspot Tiny will track my every movement, giving me headroom, okay, and enabling me to present stood up. Okay, and this is the difference. The Hobspot is not tied to your desktop in a 90-degree field of view. The Hobspot is on a 2-axis gimbal, which means that it can follow you around the room. Okay, and basically this means that I can stand up and present. So I can pick up these earbuds and I can talk about the earbuds whilst I'm stood up. Okay, I can talk about the iPad whilst I'm